Hi, hello. Let me get a few things set up. And then, yeah. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Alright, YouTube's up. Pop out. Up. Alright, what's going on? It's been a minute. We did a little short stream on Sunday, and basically it was a good time. I feel like we were kind of sluggish. I was a little tired. I was late, and we were trying to figure some stuff out. But we got our first 4 figured out. And did we get 4 more? No, I doubt it. Yeah, we got 4 locked in. But we were on the verge of finding something new last time. And yeah, I hope everybody's Monday has been good. Our weekend has been good. It's been an okay weekend. Let me tell you about my weekend. Yes, what happened? I went to anime club and had a very interesting time. What turned out to hopefully, I was thinking was gonna be some just random, anime. They were playing, some random, I don't know, some random anime, some funny stuff, something you wasn't expecting to be funny. But they were playing some very weird anime. And when I say off the deep end, like borderline hentai, if not the actual thing. You say interesting is such a kind word. No, for real. This is not my anime club I go to. I go to and I take someone there. But yeah, I don't know, to say that it was interesting to say the least. But, I had some real good food, from the pizza spot that, they ordered from. So, I called that. And then Monday, yesterday, why I wake up, check Twitter. I don't normally, well, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I check Twitter in the morning. I've been trying to stop scrolling just because I got better stuff to do with my time. Come on now. Every second that you're not doing something, you be doing something else. So that's kind of how I think about it. But yeah, I woke up and I saw one of my favorite basketball players, a new addition to the Pistons, Malik Beasley. He was coming to Savvy's. He got a new meal and actually went to go, see him. And so we showed up early. Why we walk into Savvy's. I don't know. Ain't no note on the door. Ain't no nothing. So we walk into Savvy's, right? We like one of the first couple of maybe it's like a group of people in there. He's not even there, and whatnot. And so basically, the longer we waited in there, the longer I realized, wait, I'm not supposed to be in this room. So deadass found myself in a room with a whole bunch of big creators, and a musician and a basketball player. And I just showed up to get a signature, for real, in a picture. So it was a pretty cool experience, and yeah, I don't know, it's kind of inspiring to see. Like I realized that some of the people I knew who they were, but other people, like deadass, I did not know like some of the followings were that big. And also like it's like I'm coming there to get a signature from a specific person, and I'm in there and I'm like, I don't know if I should be there. And then I don't want to fan out over everybody, right? That's gonna make it obvious. But yeah, it's safe to say that I probably had the least following of everybody there. But it was such a cool experience, for real. It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool seeing some of the behind the scenes, behind like maybe what people say and how they set up like their Instagram reels or their TikToks or whatever they got going on. They got like whole sayings and scripts or some stuff like that they like to do, and it's actually kind of cool. But I like to say I had a good time. It was a good one. I got my little Avatar sweater on, and I'm vibing. I got a little bit of juice left. But cheers. Let me see what we did last time. So last time, I don't think we locked in these 4. I'm not sure if we did that last time or the time before, but I don't think so. We were doing a lot of research into miracles infidelities. who we believe to be Miracle's infidelities. And we are trying to figure out a little bit more about the sons. We know one is named Mark and one is named Stewart. Maybe it's Mark. Okay. And then we gotta figure out the spouse. So if I'm not mistaken, we could just go into the history and then go back and look up Mark. This is like the last thing that we pulled up on the spider search. So I'm gonna just go back into it. I don't know if I read it. I may have read it. Let's read it again. Crocodile Clementine is listed on the website as the infamy list. Titled the infamy list. It's a massive list of criminals who are known for odd crimes. Although Mark's nickname would imply he hails from Florida, a lot like others on the list from there or Australia, Mark is being listed as from Los Angeles. He works, he has a pretty big entry and he seems like a real piece of work. There's a small note about him being the basket baby of 1950. I don't know, I'm running out of paper. This is crazy. I'm writing on the back of envelopes and stuff. But you know, it's all to get this done. All to get this done. You got paper? Yes. Thank you. Where was I at? Oh, I wanted to write down basket baby of 1950. Thank you. Let's highlight that. One sec. Mostly everything comes from his adulthood. He lost his job in 1975 as a pilot for a regional airline after he boarded the wrong airline's plane. He was drunk. Wow, that's great. So we know he was a pilot. That was probably like the last job that he had, maybe. He was arrested for transporting smuggled animals. Oh, so we did read this one. So yes, I believe, yeah, he got in trouble for that. He was successful. He got caught. Yes, he got caught by being bitten a crocodile that he was trying to smuggle across the border. Portland Telegraph is credited as giving him his name. Okay. Now, I think this is what we were supposed to be looking up. Let's go ahead and search this. Yes, this is the new newspaper that we have. Why do I feel like I'm about to sneeze? Portland Telegraph is your run-of-the-mill newspaper based out of Portland, Oregon. They have a website with a lot of dry statistics on how many subscribers they have, how many issues they've been, and how many rewards they've won. Okay, let's go back. Now we could look this stuff up on Portland Telegraph. His mugshot from the incident has been added to your photos. And then we gotta go look at that mugshot. In 1993, he released on parole, but his freedom didn't last long. He was arrested in 94 in San Diego for violating it in an attempt to visit his daughter's graduation. He famously punched a principal, a man named Billy Sims. The incident received national press. Look at this, we found something else. Haha. So I think so the question is, I think the question that I had was that I believe that Mark belongs here. Right? They say the youngest should be to the right, but if they're not directly kids, I don't know. I believe that Mark belongs here because he has a daughter, but if we don't have the daughter identified, you know, but I just kind of want to change that. They have the same last name anyway. And then we would make this Stewart. And then we could change, I guess we wouldn't change the photos. They do still look younger and older. This is the other photo we have for Mark. This is the mugshot. Let's look at Billy Sims. We're gonna get something from this for sure. Billy Sims is the principal of Sandstone Canyon High School, who had his 15 minutes of fame in '94 when he was punched by Crocodile Clementine at a graduation ceremony. Pretty much every news organization, from Trustworthy to Tabloid, seemed to have their own take on the altercation. It wasn't the punch that captured the nation's attention, however. Instead, it was Billy Sims' matter-of-fact response to the threat and his comments afterwards. As heard now in the famous audio clip from someone who was recording the ceremony, Billy saw I'm trying to say both words at the same time. What's up, Billy B? How are you? How you been? I hope you've been very good, though. Crocodile reportedly sucker punched him in the face. Billy, apparently only slightly dazed, said, "All right, sir, I guess we have a problem." Okay. Clementine tried to throw another punch, but Sims anticipated and performed a maneuver that spectators described as a wrestling move mixed with backward somersault. Okay. Which immediately brought both men to the floor, with Sims straddling Clementine, keeping him neutralized. As security arrived, the recording captured someone saying, "How did you do that?" And Sims' response was famously, "Trust me, I'm as surprised as anyone." I guess no, come on now. If I did some sweet shit, I would have to, you would have to come up with something cool to say, right? And it's kind of funny that people were recording, it's the graduation. Okay. We can also look up Billy Sims. Jeez. Copy. Let's look up Billy Sims over here. And it's probably in Portland Telegraph, right? The Portland Telegraph had an article slightly longer than most about the Billy Sims incident, mostly because the assaulter, Crocodile Clementine, had appeared in the paper before. So we're gonna have to search Mark Clementine in this newspaper as well. Because of the somewhat comedic sensationalism of the events in question, and because their readers were already familiar with Mark Clementine, they filled it under a special banner called Croc Watch. Okay, so maybe that's the specific term in which we gotta search. It mentions that our good friend Croc Clementine was actually in attendance at the high school graduation because his daughter was walking the stage. Speaking of, I want to make this bigger on my OBS. Okay. He was apparently not allowed to attend. His ex-wife had a restraining order filled on behalf of her daughter, but did so anyway. So he had a restraining order from the daughter. It was unknown to the school staff, including Sims at the time, who he was, but a security guard recognized him, and that's when the trouble started. Clementine Royal. Yeah, the disrespect. We not gonna have no couches left. The couch gonna get gone. Why? And he got nerve to walk up to me like he just... Anyways. Okay, Clementine was approaching the side of the stage. Okay, here's my pencil. To avoid the guard when an exchange between him and Sims took place, the article finished by facetiously asking, "What will Croc get up to next? Stay tuned, more for Croc Watch." Okay, there are no more instances of Croc Watch. Let's search Croc Watch more specifically. The Croc Watch, in addition to being the name of an article you found, is apparently as an Encino TV product aimed at kids. Digital watch looks like it's the head of a cartoony crocodile, but it has numbers where the pupils will be. The teeth act as buttons to switch between the different options, and it comes with the illustrated book about crocodiles. Okay, they made me read all of this to find out it's unrelated to my search. I was about to say, whoa. Okay, let's go back and search the Croc Watch more specifically in here. Okay, now let's look up Mark Clementine. The Portland Telegraph was the one that provided the nickname Crocodile Clementine, and has some details about Crocodile Clementine's first major arrest. He was flying between Los Angeles, Juarez, and Vancouver in a small plane. His flights were very low, literally under the radar. He was only caught because he was bit by a crocodile in the leg and had to call him a mayday because he was losing blood. He tried to tell him that he was a crop duster, who somehow cut his leg on a loose piece of metal in the cockpit, but his story seemed very odd, and controllers quickly alerted the police without informing him. Haha. When he landed, they were waiting, and he was promptly arrested. So you're the police officer. Let's swap this, because he's clearly not the police officer. His brother is. And so what are you, just a criminal? I mean, he was a pilot, but what are you now? Okay. Is there anything else we might see? Let's go to the port. Let's search the brother. Did I say that right? Stuart Clementine. Alright, so the woman in the photo is Mary Beth Clementine. And then these are her kids, right? What we know about Mary Beth is that she had 2 kids. And then she struggled with one of them. Let's read the initial entry that Sam was talking about. Let's go back out. Where is it? Where's the little summary of what we be doing? Is it this? No, it's this. She was saying... Wait, is this only Clark stuff? Yeah, this is from Clark. What did she just say about that, though? So she gave me this. She gave me this email, too. So this was the email that we got from her. So basically, somebody named Regina Clementine contacted her from Louisiana. And Regina and her husband, Stuart Clementine, she wrote me about a month ago. Apparently, the Roottrees lawyers went after her since then. By the time I received her letter and called her, she told me she couldn't cooperate. Her husband, who was a police officer and never knew his father, told her that he might be a Roottree, but he's estranged from his family and didn't want to pursue it because he had no proof. Okay, so we also got to change the spouse. That's what we do know. So we'll do unknown, and then Regina belongs here. And I believe, yeah, we know that Mark has a daughter as well. So... we gotta figure out who's older. That's what we gotta figure out. Her husband, who was a police officer and never knew his father. Oh, we just read that. Some of it, I've been able to confirm. Stuart's mother was named Mary Beth Clementine. She's a pretty well-known in the 30s and 50s singer who went to a lot of churches. Stuart always told her they spent a lot of time at the Miracle Church. Okay, so we gotta go back to Mary Beth Clementine. Let's do a little bit more research into her. I feel like, I mean, although we need 4, right? We feel like we might have Joanna Wright, but I don't think we do have Joanna Wright. Realistically, if we had Joanna Wright, we would have had Joanna Wright. Let's be real. However, I do feel like we might have a few more people. Let me see. I didn't put that Mary Beth was a singer in here. Apparently I can't spell either. Musician, actually. There we go. That didn't help. I mean, it helped, but it didn't help. And I believe... Yeah, We're gonna keep looking. We're gonna keep looking. She was known for her adoptions. She's listed on many sites to mention adoption and the history of adoption. She adopted 2 children in the late 40s, Stuart and Mark. And then I do have my paper I wrote on from before that said that Mark we thought that Mark was relatively born in the 1950s or something like that. I don't know what we did. We were subtracting something along the times. I don't know. We were trying to figure out something. But let me keep looking. We know that she adopted the children in the 1940s. She advocated for the benefits in 1949. She'd been twice divorced. Both times to her manager, Sterling. Okay, now let's look her up in the... We got a couple of different resources we could look her up in. We never looked her up in the Portland Telegraph, actually. I don't think she's here, but let's go to the Modern Musician Music Monthly. I think that might be a good one. And then what about Butler County Times? It was something more about the kids, I believe. Oh, we might have been right with that 1950. They said that Mary Beth came to Butler County quite a few times and played religious hymns at Miracle Congregations Church. She's mentioned 2 times, though the first visit from 1949 was significantly more substantial. Interesting, I would say. Of course, I don't have a sharp pencil. Let's see. There we go. Alright, now can we search this, I believe? I think we tried to, but no. It's a very specific article. It mentions a church leader was moved when he heard Mary Beth's recording of one of his favorite hymns. Eye of the Sparrow. Eyes on the Sparrow is a very special meaning to me. My family's fortune does me no good as a man of the Lord. Is much better spreading his word. And he felt a kinship to Mary Beth ever since he heard her voice. If he ain't... I mean, she on this list, I believe. It could be that this name could throw me off, but I don't think there would be this much about this person, you know? She and her son are welcome to stay. Huh. The second visit was a few years later. The article mentions that her first visit was a massive success. In the insistence of Miracle's congregation, she's returned for an encore. It also is mentioned that the unusual circumstances of her second son's adoption have prevented her from touring recently, but doesn't clarify. Now, is there anything else we can find here? So we did that. What about this? No. There's that news time that we got, and then there's Piketty that was new. And then what is this? Starlet. Actresses in Hollywood, that type of thing. Let's see, what else did we see in the past about Mary Beth? So we were looking here. Eyes on the Sparrow. Okay, so we got a couple things that we looked at before. This new Edison. And that's how we got Sterling Edison as the name. But they said his name was actually Etzel or something? Is that even a part of the thing? It is. I don't think that would help though, but that would help if Mary Beth got her last name from him, maybe? So we know New Edison is a small record label, and basically this is Sterling Edison. I'm assuming that was Mary Beth's partner at the time. Old Rugged Cross. And we didn't find anything. Did we find stuff in Butler County? What about this Portland Telegraph? No. I was hoping that was gonna be something. His eyes on the sparrow. Let's go. Let's look that back up. We know that this is an important song. And then I don't know if we should look it up straight up in the Butler County, maybe. Oh, that's how we got here. Maybe it's something about the eyes on the sparrow. Let's say it's a religious hymn. It's been covered over the many years by many artists, so it's likely not relevant. The premise is that the singer realizes that they should not feel discouraged or disparaged by their troubles, as God is watching over every creature. If God can watch over them and love something as small as a sparrow, then the singer knows that God is also there to watch over them. And then what does this have to do with him? Is it because is Miracle actually like blind? That's what I want to know. I feel like because of the glasses and we know the eye patch, he could be partially blind, but he could always wear glasses just because maybe one of his eyes also, you know. So his last name is Sterling Edsel. Alright, now what about Mary Beth Edsel? Or are we going by the original Edison? Yeah, no. I was hoping they said that she released the song before she legally changed her name. So it was given that she had a different name before. Let's look in. Let's look up Sterling Edison more in a local source. So we'll look them up here. There are a lot of countless advertisements for various covers of popular songs. Yes, he was sued by Edison Records. Maybe we could look up Edison Records. Have we been here before? The history of the company seems very unimportant, except for the potential lawsuit they filed as Edison Records versus Edsel website about lawsuits mentions that this is a fun case because the name of the lawsuit is actually the biggest problem for the person being sued. The record producer called himself Edison was immediately outed as not actually being named Edison. Okay, so what is the name of the... Okay, so never mind. He don't got nothing to do with the thing. I guess let's look more into Mark Clementine. And we know his name is Crocodile Clementine. Let's look up this, the infamy list. Have we searched this before? Same website pops up. basket baby of 1950. That's all we wrote, 1950. He lost his job in 75 as a pilot. Yep, we read this a little earlier though. Okay, let's highlight this Billy Sims while we look more into Crocodile Clementine. And no, this is Portland Telegraph, I believe. What else could be here? Ooh, okay. So we gotta click everything. We gotta click everything. Of course we do. I worked out hard yesterday, man. My legs. Picty magazine is kind of sleazy, so they're not afraid to publish a few details about the more reputable news publications normally wouldn't. You look up the Billy Sims incident, and it seems like they did report on it. You gain a few new bits of information, though it may not be entirely useful. Billy Sims was once arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company who was found to be testing their products on animals. According to the police paperwork, Crocodile Clementine's bail was paid for by Tostarito Jacobson. It was fairly expensive. Let's highlight that. Piketty interviewed other students that were at the event to find out if anyone knew anything, and the word going around was that Mark Clementine showed up because his daughter Mary was graduating that night. Ah ha 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 ha. Mary. That makes sense, Mary Beth Mary. Also, maybe he was the housewife. Okay, let's look up this Tostarito. And then we'll look up Mary Clementine. Fuego's Fiesta, a regional Mexican fast food chain, held a competition in '93 to offer free meals for life for anyone who legally changed their name to Tostarito. Tostarito was a burrito with a cylindrical tostada shell inside the flour tortilla. According to a few different sources, Tostarito Jacobson used to be named Lucinda. Okay, let's look up this before we look up the other thing. Okay. Lucinda Jacobson. Maybe it's a more local source. God dang it. I hate when that happens. There we go. And that will probably be in Portland, I imagine, right? Butler County? Ooh, this is old. There's a crime blotter about the Edith Jacobson that also mentions a Helen Roottrees and Lucinda Jacobson. Helen Roottrees. Are we going all the way up here? Helen Roottrees. In 71, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda was arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County. They were pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get into the room where the church houses their weekly tithings. The church didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time her husband Miracle was always preaching. Helen Roottrees was quoted as saying, "Jesus forgives, and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and I'm confident that he brought these young women to us for a greater purpose." Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. So maybe we could look up Edith Jacobson. You find a link that seems to be partial and corrupted. List of archive articles from Butler County Times. The article is cut off when it mentions that Edith Jacobson and arrest. Okay, let's look up Helen Roottrees. This is very important, though. I'm gonna highlight this. But what I want to look up, I guess I'll look up Mary Clementine. And then that will probably be Portland. See where the game wants me to go. You found a lot of important information in your last application. Okay, what more specifically? More specifically. Okay. Carolyn Morden, okay. What's up, Sad? How are you? How's your day going? How have you been? Alright. Ooh, that's crazy. I guess I never thought about Caroline Morden as being somebody who would have did stuff in between then. I guess it made sense she spoke out against the Roottrees, and she maybe was privy to some of that information that we didn't know. You never know. After the release of 6 Pieces, Caroline Morden did a television interview. Someone has uploaded a partial transcript of the interview on the television section of a messaging community. The transcript is only her answers and missing the question. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Caroline and some of her family members. Haha, this is interesting. Okay, 45 minutes. The Caroline Morden interview. A cable news interview. A transcript of only Caroline's answers has been posted on the site about the television. Thanks for having me. I never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing spark plugs out of her tractors, but I don't really think that fits her narrative. Okay, you was stealing stuff, okay. Yes and no. I'm trying to think what that question could have been. Let's read them all and let's maybe hypothesize. Yes and no, they never tried to kick me out or send me to live on the farm, if that's what you mean. But I was already unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. She's my wife, not legally, but we've been together half our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20, and I had just had my daughter. I hate to look back at the time because I was a terrible mother the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. Hydrate, thank you. I appreciate you. Hope you've been well, though, said. So she went on a private jet with Guy. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family eyes, this trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. I slowly figured it out because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. He was a workaholic, he seemed nice enough, and he did a good job. I don't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. I honestly get why she's pissed. Okay, maybe I should hypothesize as we're reading, but I already committed to this, so fuck it. Excuse me. I'd rather not speak ill of the dead. Not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I can say is that we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. He came back a lot judgier. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farms, he stopped returning my calls. Oh, well, he's hard to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problems with women were different than guys, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays he's just just kind of boring and old. I prefer that's how he used to be and to Guy and Carl, but it's still a cautionary tale. I hope I'm never that boring and old. Okay, this is a little tough. I wonder if we're gonna be able to find the other one. Why am I back crack as I lifted myself up? That's crazy, right? Okay, this is real interesting. We still got more though. And she will be in Butler County Times. So that's it. This is what we were supposed to get from it. Was it the name of the interview? Well, I'm gonna keep see what's going on. I doubt that I'll see her, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'll find stuff from it, so why not commit to it? What's up, Shippy? How are you? Okay, let's look more into this. I never really fit in the family, so it doesn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted me to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested. But all of her tractors. So this is about Sam, because she owned the farm. Yes or no, they never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. So this is about her parents, probably. But I was already pretty unpopular, and once everybody learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. Then they asked about the wife. I was 20 and I just had my daughter. I had to look back on the time because I was a terrible mother the first few years. And we know she went with Guy. He lost a tooth and a client. I don't know what that means, but okay. No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. What does that mean? It was undoubtedly awkward for me because he was one more supporter than most. I slowly figured it out because he assumed that I would be as shallow as he was. What could this be about? What of his behavior? Maybe this is about Guy. And what does that mean? He didn't like the entire woman. Maybe there's some guys in his dating history as well, perhaps. But he would. I don't know if they always lead to. Yeah, pretty much all of these people do lead to children. So maybe this is just irrelevant. It was just something about her, and how she felt about him. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. Maybe this is about Sam's dad, perhaps? Or something like that? Because Carl fought for Sam to be in the trust, I believe, right? And then this is about the dead. I'd rather not speak ill of the dead. Unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I can say is that we used to be friends before he was in the private school. He's harder to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk, high, or both all the time. He used to sell me pot. His problems were women were different than guys. But he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Nowadays, he's boring and old. Boring and old. Who could she be talking about? Is she talking about Miracle? I mean, that would be an interesting thing if the preacher himself ended up being the one who was selling pot. Wouldn't put it past him, huh? So it's a guy, right? It can't be it could be Miracle. Oh, there's more pictures here now. Interesting. Okay. Take a water break. I might go. So these are not necessarily on the same level. So this happened beforehand. So Guy was probably the one that cheated the most. So, and what else can we find out? Actually, let's see. I'm gonna take a bathroom break, but I want to come back and look at these because I believe that, they said that don't look up every name, but I want to look back into that secretary thing about Guy. I feel like We have a decent amount of people where we think might be a correct. We have him, and we might have his name correct in face. I'm not sure, to be honest. I just assume those two little boys were the two, little kids in this photo. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do when I come back. And then this gotta be a baby. If this is 1998, and it's only what 99 right now. Yeah, that baby is only 1 year old, a toddler. You're not even in school. And if that baby is in school, then shame on me. Give me a few minutes though. All right, now I drank some water. I didn't peek at what's going on in the kitchen. Uh, one last second. All right, now. Okay, so now I feel like, yeah, what we were talking about was that we need to focus on, I don't know, maybe finding somebody else, finding another thing of that, but also we were talking about focusing on this. So Guy took over. I almost want a pen. I need to be a little more productive than this pencil is offering me. I feel like I'm gonna break it, so I'm not writing as fast. Okay, so Guy took office. He took office in 1978, and he was not faithful to his wife. Alright, so now we're going to go back to the evidence, and we're going to go to the different piece of evidence, and it's confidential. And then do we have the year? So this is 1975. This is 1977. Okay. So Zach retired in 1977, and we know Guy took over office from 1978 to blank. So technically, so this is probably what changed to where like basically the special management was probably the person that was going to be there. Okay, so technically, let's see, what about this? Does it have anything? Okay, so we're probably going to start here. 1978 to 1979. We know Guy took over office, so the following people are familiar. So we need to know a lot of these names. Okay, so these people are no longer employed. Raffertoons is now listed as office staff. That could be something to look up to. I don't think we looked up Raffertoons since then. I appreciate you being here, Ship, and said, I hope you're having a good time. Let's see. Raffertoons is a site that once had a photo of Clark on it and that no longer exists. Instead, it redirects to a site with a telephone number called 1010-250, which is frustratingly keeps popping up advertisements in windows every 2 seconds. You meant to close them, but it sure is annoying. Let's go ahead and search Raffertoons into this Butler County Times, and then we'll also look up the what would be the music. Oop. Now what about this number? 1010-250 is apparently a phone number you could dial before making a long distance call to receive a discount from the telephone company. For the past few months, you've been inundated with ads for it and other services like it. This included TV spots starring celebrities, radio commercials with parodies of popular songs, and banner ads on it for many different websites. That doesn't seem to be relevant to your search. The Raffertoons domain was likely purchased by a third party when the license expired. Okay. Okay, so we're going to... I'm going to make a different page because we haven't made a different page since we started. And the name of this page will be... This will be about Guy's staff. And we'll even include the date too, just in case. So let's highlight this. Beatrice Watts and Corinne Schwartz were hired. They're no longer employed. So we want people that were hired. That's all we want to focus on realistically. And we're focusing on secretaries. However, everything matters, right? All right, let's highlight that. And we still got to get a picture of Susan Ford. All right, so now let's go to this next page. The same thing continued. Terry O'Connor was hired. And then we know in 1980, Susan got moved to office staff. So that could be important when it comes to like figuring out some stuff when it comes to them being, you know, not faithful. Edward Morrison and Robert Andrews were hired. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Corinne Schwartz and Beatrice are no longer employed. Okay, so this is important. I think it's all important. What's up, Bubble Buddy? How are you? Said right. Yeah, I think it is. You can't tell me I'm not, or you can't tell me I'm on the wrong track. I guess in a way, somehow, some way. All right. And do we have anything else? Who wasn't? So what year is this? This is 82. So the first few months, we could say. Okay, let's see. I think these names still could be important. Susan Ford. Yes. And then I don't know if we looked into this work time temp. And then we got this Victor Logan, which we aren't exactly certain if this is something somebody did, but we got a list of names now. And that's all that matters. I think this list of names will be able to help. So we know for a fact, right? We're talking about Guy, right? Yes, Guy was the president from 78 to 1982. All right. So knowing that, does it say when Sam Madsen left Roottrees 1984? Okay, so I'm sure we could probably even look up what day that Carl took over. But yes. And then there was something that we read at the very beginning about a secretary. Maybe it's this one? Okay, so what am I thinking about right now? I'm thinking about there's something that talks about Guy. Roottrees family picnic. That's kind of wild that he had sis at the family picnic, but nobody knew she was family. On this spoiler word, his mother Joanna when she was Zach Morden's secretary. So Joanna was Zach Morden's secretary. So we can cross-reference that with the first initial photo right here. Where's her name again? G's secretary. Joanna Robertson. I mean, this is a name that's definitely important. And did she actually get married to him? Something about her was wrong, so I could change her last name in efforts to know that we'll be back. What's up, Thistle? How are you? How's your day going? But yeah, okay. No, that's not what we want to focus on. Maybe it's the story about this one. His parents divorced when he was 4, and after his father learned of the affair. Felix and his mother then moved to Portland because she was afraid for her son's life. Okay, this is not what we need. So I don't know. Maybe we change that back to fellows, and then we might have the occupation wrong. Ooh, we got your latte. Lattes are lit. My day's going pretty good though. Pretty lit. It's pretty vibing. There was somebody else. So let's say, I don't know when they met. Does it say a year? It doesn't matter, but he's the first one. So we could assume that maybe the middle, this would be closer to when he left. So maybe he was messing on all, like just fucking on all his secretaries. Let's be realistic. All right, so the name that did come up was Susan Ford. So we got quite a few. This is all we got from here. So we could literally look up each and every name. Like they said, it's probably not going to lead to anything. Or we can maybe go specifically look up the specific names. So we know this Susan Ford. The funny part is we don't know anybody about. I think we were searching Miss Ford. How do we find that before? It's in here though. Maybe we go back into this, and we also learned about this deaf thing too. Okay, that was worth looking at, I guess, huh? The Avatar hoodie though, yes. I actually caught this on sale. It's pretty cool. Actually, the funny part is I've had it and it's been hanging up for a long time because it's white, and I don't know what it is about white clothes. You know, they feel special. They feel special. Gandorf is the last name of the founder, and Dove is the last name. Gosh, Dove is the Danish word for deaf. This is where we learned about Ford. So we know the founder's last name is Gandorf. An hour away. Okay, let's look this into more. We know we saw Butler County Times. Okay, let's continue to read this though. I wanted to read the bottom part. You okay in there? Okay. As long as you ain't stub your toe. Staff's listed on the website. You scan through all the biographies, and you find that the principal, Miss Ford, is fluent in 5 languages. So Miss Ford is a principal. Miss Ford bios also mentions that she's not deaf herself, but rather learned to sign language to communicate with the deaf. It mentions that she was responsible for securing funding during for the Hudson Wing. All right, and now we go back into here. Let's see, is regularly listed in articles with other local schools. Oh, okay, so we might be able to search all the articles for this one. There's another one, the Herald, I think we might be able to find that in. And maybe the Portland, not Portland County, what is it called? Portland something. Butler County Times archives includes what seems like endless list of snow cancellations, extracurricular activities, and weekend events that began over 70 years ago and stretched until the last mention in 1990. Amongst the avalanche of useless information, you almost miraculously discovered one useful article, Gandorf Dove. The center of a crime article, Someone defaced the school and vehicles outside with the brand new Hudson wing of the school. Oh, so he was cheating and they knew. Wow. That's crazy. Should we highlight this whole thing maybe? Thomas Hughes. That's gonna be useful. There was one arrest. Thomas Hughes who was coincidentally a former student at the school. Apparently, the destruction came weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher when he went. He graduated a few years earlier. Ooh. According to the reporter's investigation into the police reports, trials, and restraining orders, Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. He was released on bail, and the school has agreed not to press criminal charges after agreement was made to pay the damages. All right, let's look up Thomas Hughes. Oh, well, actually, let's look up Gandorf Dove and a few different things. I don't think it'll be anything here, but it might be. They said other stuff, so maybe News Time, maybe Portland Telegraph. Okay, maybe they lied. Crime. We don't have nothing related to crime, realistically, though. So let's go back and search the name. That's my next thing. Thomas Hughes showing up for the time he went on Maury. No, for real. He might as well went on Maury. Hughes. Okay, so let's go back. Let's just go back and look on the thing. Did we highlight anybody with the last name Hughes? Also, real quick, do we have a year? 1982. So this is probably the last. This is probably the last person he cheated with. All right. And we don't have a picture of this person, but we could potentially maybe find something here. 1982. So maybe it could be in all 3Ds, but let's start when he first took office. So we're thinking for somebody maybe with the last name Hughes. I have a feeling. Did he? I can't remember. Did he say before that happened? She was not a teacher when he went. He graduated. The newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. Maybe we could search her name. Nah, I came up with the same thing. Okay. Her current pregnancy. So one of the kids, we don't know which one. The Hudson's Wing was an expansion to the Gandalf Dove, now Gandalf School for the Deaf, first built in '82. It's a separate, much smaller building half a block from the main campus and operates a smaller independent school that offers free ASL courses for the family members, friends, and caretakers of deaf children. According to the history site, they got their name after the president of Roottrees Company generously donated $250,000 towards the construction of the building. Interesting, right? Sips tea indeed. Sips tea indeed. Had some tea last night. I didn't make any today. I actually brought some tea. I brought some like orange spice tea. There's a vague history section that you could somewhat fill with the details of the other information you've seen about the school. It mentions that one of the donations came at the instance of an employee of Roottrees at the time. It mentions that she learned ASL from the main school before Hudson Wing even existed, to surprise her future husband, who was deaf. After realizing how useful a service like this could be to non-deaf people that wish to better serve those with hearing issues, she convinced Roottrees management to invest in the school. The Hudson Wing opened up and became a first teacher. She became the first teacher at the new campus. At first, it was only operated on weekends, but since she was added to afternoon classes on some weekdays. Now let's also look up Hudson Wing on here. Okay, nothing here. No, it's a spider search I want to see. Do we have to look up that? So Ford. So I think that we can just go ahead and take Susan Ford off of this one. Susan Ford would probably be here. And maybe she goes by her name now. I don't know where she would have got Ford from. And then what was her spouse name? Thomas? Thomas Hughes? Okay, this is what we thinking. Oh, man. I see why people, like, when you work out, you focus on one spot in particular. Like, now my whole body beat up. I feel like I did like an MMA fight, like fighting with everything, even my eyes, I guess, huh? Now how do we find this woman's name? So what also is confusing, I would say, so maybe her name is Susan Hughes, and she got married, right? Because it says Mrs. Hughes. Poor dog. He was not the father of her current pregnancy. I guess let's go ahead and search it. Miss Hughes, and then we search Gandalf Dove, and then this is how we found Miss Ford. So Miss Ford, that's her name before she got married. So we can assume that Mrs. Hughes is after she got married. But now what? Now what? This is game got going on. You said no pain, no gain. Oh no, for real. No, for real. Who else could we do? So that doesn't help me get a picture of who Susan is. Well, that just helps me place Susan. So we know that he had more in here. What about this Beth Knox person? We knew about something about Beth Knox. And then where do we read that? Did she say something about here? The private parties. I think this might have been what we were looking for way back earlier. So we know he had little swinger parties. He was getting on without his wife though. That's crazy. Can we see what you got so far? I got you. This is what I have. I'll start with this side. As far as ones I got confirmed, I got Miracle. I have these 4 filled in. I also have Sterling filled in as well. I have these 2 right, and I thought I had Joanna right, but I think I might have her occupation and or her last name wrong if she changed it. And then I have Stephanie here with her baby Carol. But yeah, that's pretty much it so far. And then I suspect Beth Knox is here, and I'm assuming. Do I have any proof that Beth Knox belongs there? I don't know what would have made me put that there. You know what? This would made me put there because we read something that said that right here exactly. Talking about who is Beth. One of Sam's supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but worked as one of Guy's secretary. So maybe her daughter was Beth. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonellis met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly. Interesting. What you looking at me? I'm like, dang, you scared me. What? So the first one here has to be Elias, I would imagine. We don't have a picture. So maybe Beth Knox belongs here. He's the first president. I think when I was reading that, I assumed that this is about Guy, but I think this is talking generally about how she, her thing about the family, and I think that's what happened. Okay, so what I'm thinking about right now is I think the Beth thing threw me off. I don't know who Beth is, but we know um, that Sam speculated that that Elias cheated on Gwyneth, and basically just because Gwyneth was nicer and she felt like Elias basically accepted her into the family because of some sort of leverage. He said it's looking good. One hot tip we could use: women's. Okay. Use the names. Okay, gotcha. That could definitely help. So maybe Beth does not indeed belong here. Okay. Okie dokie. So I'm pretty sure we have Elias here first. I think Elias was dating Beth, who was secretary, right? We don't have a picture of Beth. Then also who we think we might have be leading us towards the right direction are here, but we could not find a picture of anything. So I might just see what we're looking at when it comes to hints. I don't know. We will see. Let me think. What should I do? What should I look up? Maybe I can go into the evidence. I'm thinking I might try a few more things to see. All of these numbers are the same thing, and then we got this Piketty that gets eight things. Maybe we can read more about this story. This story was like familiar to some other people, right? It was like a familiar telling. Like she met guy. Well, she wasn't a secretary. What did she do? We don't know what she did. Is this in Butler County? Maybe. Oops. I always do that. I always type an extra character after the fact. Maybe it's not in here. Maybe it's in Portland. Alright, now we got this loot. Okay, this covered a lawsuit between Ruby Spratt and Piketty surrounding Cicely Sanchez. And Cicely didn't have the rights to distribute the photos of the magazine of Guy Hudson. And I believe we have all like the evidence we need from this. We know that Ruby Spratt owns what is it? Ruby. It's 2 T's. Ruby. Oh my gosh. She owned her legal company was called Spratt something. She grew up in foster care. Do we have Spratt as a name available to put? Guardian, adoption, or otherwise. Anybody else a guardian or adopted? It could be one of these. Or it could be somebody like this. Let's see what the last name. Do we have Spratt? We do. We don't have a picture though. So I'm curious what they would tell me to do. Alright, they keep telling me to go back to reminders. Where is that at? Right here. I keep throwing me off. Okay, so there's some more people we need to look up. I guess we can start at the bottom, right? What about Aloysius? Nah, this is old. I just thought it would be silly to look up. Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. Sam Madsen? Do we have any actual Sams in here? No, I assume it's just Sam. Maybe her dad, Ernest. Who's her dad? What was it? E.C? Gosh. Let's go back to Butler County Times. So we're looking up Edward. Interesting. It says Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. I don't know what that means, but that's going to be important probably, huh? Let's see if any of this stuff is new. Ah, this is new. Ron was announced the president of Roottrees. I think we read this. Basically, they had some different stuff going on. Yes, he was supposed to take over, but absolutely didn't. And we know Robbie Roottrees is his brother. His embezzlement and arrest were partially mentioned in the Six Pieces and have since become much more publicly infamous. He has not yet returned to the United States, but journalists have reached out to him after the recent death of his mother. He had issued a blanket statement a few days ago. The death of my mother was hard on our family. My brother and I, after spending time together caring for her and mourning, have finally made amends. It is highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery for my addiction, and a major aspect in that process is I wish to stay private. Poor guy. Okay. Let's look at the other one in the periodicals. Weird. But Ron would be in here, right? In here. Alright, now let's search Robbie. RR Productions. Okay, that's what I wanted to get to see if that had anything different. RR Productions seems to have no other projects listed in development other than Guys Like Us remake. Well, that's a new lead. Guys Like Us remake has been discussed a few times on the website. One sec. All right. It's been discussed a few times on the website about an upcoming film. It's called Move News. The logo is a cow on a film canister. The rumored cast is Cameron Diaz, and the role originated by Gwen, Linda Fiorentino, and Chris O'Donnell. According to leaked news, the remake has been put on infinite hiatus due to its director, who is speculated to be Ron Roottrees, dropping out in the wake of a serious medical issue, though that's only a rumor. So is he sick? I feel like what makes sense is that his mom got sick, and then, you know, that's why. Alright, so I want to see, maybe we could look up this Move News. Not Cameron Diaz. No, I was thinking that too. I can't believe they actually mentioned the... Okay, maybe not. I can't believe they mentioned, like, you know, a famous person. I guess we could search Cameron Diaz. Why not? Nope. Linda Fiorentino? Nope. And then what about Chris O'Donnell? We're gonna search all these names again in the periodicals. Okay, I feel like Linda might be the name we might be looking for, but let's just... Starlet, right? Actors? Interesting. Okay. There probably is more to it. Let's look into November Roottrees. We knew she was difficult to find. Was it November Studios? You visit the November Studios website for old time's sakes, and what's this? The website now lists the hours of November Studios. They open at 1 p.m. on weekdays, but are closed on Wednesdays. This changes everything. You lament this incredibly vital information that wasn't available months ago when it truly mattered. Why does it matter? I don't... Maybe it's more in the periodicals. And this is about dancing, but it could be local. Instead of November Studios, maybe they should have called this place No Mention Studios. Okay. Okay. Let's look back into Brian Jones. We know that they had a baby. Let's show the older one. But I believe he had a company that was interesting. Jones Graphic and Print. This is what we need. It's unchanged except at least new clients. All of them are in and around Butler County. Okay. Wow, some of this stuff, I guess realistically, like going to some of this old stuff isn't gonna be super helpful. Oh, this is new. The Butler Summer Theater performs plays and musicals during the summertime. Makes sense. As currently summer, the tickets are selling for one of their musicals, Cabaret. There's a cast list, but none of the names seem relevant. November Studios is listed under choreography, just like it was in your last investigation. This time, it seems unconnected. Okay, let's look at this Cabaret thing, maybe. Okay. Okay, we just searched Chris Rafferty's email and we found a little something. Chris Rafferty's Prodigy site seemed to have been discovered by the masses. What is that, a hydrate? Oh, wow. Yes. Actually, I'm not sure if it's playing. I hope it's playing. It may not be playing. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta fix a lot of stuff for stream. Specifically the channel alerts. I might have to gift you some channel points. I'm not going to lie to you. I heard it though, but I just don't know if it actually went through. It's like I have sound alerts, but I don't know if I need to be having anything open right now. But I think I might have found something. Look at that. I didn't think I was doing it, but I was like, let me just search the stuff. They keep telling me to go back to reminders, so why not? Okay, go on other pictures of his cousins. Instead, there are lists of questions that people keep emailing him. The most relevant ones are the following. Are you the son of Clark Rafferty? Yes, but I didn't grow up with him. I remember him from when I was a little kid, but I moved away with my mom when I was very young. We left Pennsylvania and moved back home to Virginia. We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times when I found his phone number on a check he sent us in the mail when I was 15. He was happy to hear from me and now calls me once a month and came to visit me at college. He tells me about things I don't remember and people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but obviously we weren't close. Did you ever meet the Roottrees? I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid, and I definitely met Guy Hudson before he died, but I don't remember. My memory is weird. It's hard to know that what I actually remember and what I only think I do because I have pictures. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5 in the office with my dad, and Guy was there. Okay, so Clark. I made myself sick by eating chocolate and some woman who I didn't know cleaned my face. I don't know if memories of that come from the picture or not. The photo's been added to your evidence. Imagine your half-sisters also being your cousins. No way! That's like a double whammy, huh? I knew Ernie had a heart problem because my dad told me on one of our phone calls. I asked him about the poison because I saw it on the Roottrees Curse website. LMAO, that's kind of silly to think about. He emailed some more stuff, including the proof, but even with the proof, the website didn't take it down. You spelled fiance wrong. I'm no good at spelling and writing. Okay. Alright, so I don't know if this is from anything else we'll get from it, but probably not. Let's go look into this picture, though. This is a photo on Chris Rafferty's website. According to Chris, this is a photo of him and his father, Guy Hudson. And how old was he? I was 5, so he was 5. We don't know what year he was born, but we might be able to find it. And then his dad was probably, who was his dad? That's probably his dad, right? Come on now, look at that. Look at that, look at that, look at that, come on. He's just the same guy, like he was covering up his butt chin with his beard, you know? That's gotta be him. And then, so that means Guy and this lady, Guy is here. We also know that Guy had he had the red hair, so we can verify that this is Guy. Can we also put another picture with Guy as well? Yep, that's him. So, who are you? He was 5. Okay, let's go back to this older thing. Art of Rafferty. This don't have nothing to do with how we could tell how old Clark is. He did a first year of college. Oh no, actually. There's an odd collage called Cousins, which seem to be made up of scrambled images. We have to create a piece of art about our family. So what that say? He was a college, you know? I'm gonna look this up. Uh-oh, go back. Look up the thing one last time. And just in case there's nothing else, and then I think my secondary thing will be to look up the whole email. So it's something about a screen name. Screen name. Screen name. Yeah. Now, if I search this, will this same page come up? Why? Why they do me like this? Okay, so it just gives me the same thing. Let's look at the whole email. No. Prodigy. Prodigy is the ISP, in addition to allowing people to travel information super highway that offers email services and web hosting. Customers choose a unique screen name, then Prodigy automatically creates an email address and a simple website they can edit and share with other people. Not everyone with the service has a website, but if they do, you can find their screen name. Okay. Nope, we need the old one. Is it these times? I don't think it's these times. No. Alright, we were just looking up this Prodigy. Unique screen name. Now, does this have any of the old stuff? Nope, this is starting new. That's starting new and fresh. No, we need to go back to the screen name. We don't have nothing about them moving. Ernie Madsen. And we know that thing was in 97. And then, so that picture, I believe way back when, that picture that was signed, the cousin's picture, we don't have it right now. But that was 97, right? And this is college. So 97, let's say he was 18 to, what do you say, 18 to 20 or so, right? It's 99 now. What if he was in college? What do we have him as? Yeah, he was a college student. That makes a lot of sense, actually. So, 97 minus about 18 to 20, but 20, that's like 77. So I'm assuming it's 75. That's like the closest thing I could think of, right, to the actual number. I'm like minus 18, that would be like 79. Minus 20 would be 77. One sec. And if he was, born between 75 and 80, well, we know he was, at bare minimum, he would have been born 79. That would be like the earliest he could have been born. So now we just go backwards. We do 97 minus 75 instead of 97 minus 18 years. Did I do that right? 75. So he was like 22 years old supposedly, right? And then that means when he was 10. So in 97, he was, I'm assuming, 22. That's the number we're rolling with. So when he was 10, we would do 97 minus 12, right? Because 22, he was, minus 12, it was 10 years ago, or 10 years old. So that would be 85. So who the hell was in office in 85? That's the number we're going with. That also wouldn't make any sense. So it had to be a little earlier than that, maybe. And then there was a newer thing for Chris. Oh, they were 5. Okay, 5. Okay, that changes things. So 5 will be 97 minus 17, which will simply, literally just be 80. So 1980. I was about to say, that don't make sense with the track record, because guy died in 82. So this is an 80. 1980 through to 81. So is that Susan? Probably, low key. That has to be Susan. That can't be anybody but Susan. And I believe Susan was the last person he was with. And then we will put her as secretary, right? But then it was something else that they gave her. What was she? Office staff? We don't have anything that says office staff. Yeah. And I'm thinking that I have one or two more people wrong. I feel like this gotta be Susan Ford. She's a secretary, I think. I think I got Joanna wrong. Perhaps maybe her name is Joanna. It could be whether she was married or not. We have certain situations in which the parents do or do not give the last name from the father to the kid. Supposedly there's another image of Susan in this bitch too. Let's look up 5Ps again. If we do, let's just verify that his mother's name is what it is. Maybe. Joanna was Zach Morton's person. So Joanna was a secretary. Zach Morton still in charge right here. Yep. So we're looking for Joanna Robertson. Okay. And then she was a secretary. So why do we have as our cashier? Maybe the cashier is the last thing. Let's look more into it because maybe I got that from somewhere. Ah, yes, we learned that about because she didn't make it. So movie rental store where she worked at the register, so that's why we had cashier. So that means we have somebody else wrong. Are you not a baby? What are you? No, I'm sure this is right. But that means that these pictures are maybe in the wrong place. Perhaps. No, that would have solved it if it was right. Absolutely. Because I think I got her right. At least we thought we had both of these guys right. I need 4. And then Beth Knox, we know she was a secretary. The game sound got me thinking it's raining in real life. So we got Joanna Robinson as the first person, but we didn't get her locked in. And then we got multiple other people. Holy moly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 people that we have pictures of at the moment. And then my thing is, where did we find this picture? Not this one. This one. Regina Clementine. Oh, and it's Stewart, right? Names on an emergency services website in New Orleans. It seems like he's a police officer, no web presence. And then where do they live again? They're not in Butler County, I don't think. Yeah, they're in Portland. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's look at the mom again. One sec. And we pretty much know that she's a musician. Stewart and Mark. Does Stewart and Mark, would that mean that Mark is the youngest? She was specifically there to detail her experience going through the system to that sort. So Stewart is her oldest son. Where did we get this photo, though? And then we know her younger son named Mark Clementine. Alright, I feel like I'm a little stuck, so maybe we can go back into the reminders and scroll up to see if there's anything else. My thinking is that it's got to be some more evidence to help me lock it in. My bad, I was in the ads. Oh, I need 4. I got about 5 people. I feel like I'm confident about Stewart, because we know he's a police officer. I'm just not confident about the picture. But if he truly is older, then you never know, right? I'm also, I feel like more confident about Joanna now that we changed her name. I'm pretty confident about this baby because this baby was born in 98. It's only been a year. This baby ain't got no real big girl job yet. And then Susan Ford, we know she was a secretary. There could be another. Oh, actually, Susan Ford, she was a principal at the school. Look at that. You asked me what did I need, and I went through what I needed, and somehow it just came back to my brain. Look at that. I'm like, this baby got to be a baby. Okay, yes, so principal is the actual term. I forgot we were looking up the last known jobs. So we locked in all those photos as well. That's kind of cool. See, I knew, come on now. You can't tell me this ain't Clark. Look at these 2 pictures. He even got the same little half bang, little side bang, you know. You know, guys will say that's not a bang, but that's a little bang. Come on now. Hey, it took me forever to get Carol's name. No, for real. Oh, you still the baby? You know what the funny part is, when they said it was inspired by, what I thought of is, you know how like basically damn near most of the women of the Roottrees family are named Gwen, Gwyneth, Gwendolyn, Gwen something, like, you know, it just made sense that it would be Carol, because out of all the names, Caroline, Carol, you know. But now I feel a little confident. Okay. So we can very much verify that we still need more evidence, but we got some people right, which makes me happy. I would say that this is helpful because I pretty much know that Elias is here. I think I can guarantee that Elias is in this location right here. Because if we think that Elias is infidel, if he's the only one rumored to be having infidelities, and we know that the son or one of the sons used to ask who's Beth, I think this could be on the right path. Now we got to look more into Mark. But what is interesting about this is, if this is Mark, maybe Mark could have dyed his hair. This photo of Mark does. Hold on, let's go back. This photo of Mark is kind of sort of giving that. No, I mean, I was like, maybe his hair, his facial hair is a little browner. Interesting. Hold on, let me write this down. Multnomah. Well, I got it in caps locks. All right, search that right now. No. Now, where did we get that photo of Mark? I think Ruby belongs to her too. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot you could just scroll through the name list. Yeah, that part is a little confusing because I feel like in a way it's not as easy as it used to be. In the same way that I saw most of the women and the spouses by the last name. So for example, like knowing certain names passed down. Like at first I had, the weird part is I thought all the women were to the left. But I don't know. But this knowing that the mom was named Marguerite, I was like, okay, so she literally, like, because they said, she passed the name down, but if she was in any other position and he was connected to here and his last name was not, she would have took his last name in any other circumstance but that first one where they said that Gwen was lucky enough to get her last name. So that's pretty much how I've been solving it. I'm trying to see what's going on. Let's go back and look into this Crocodile Mark guy. And then there's probably more I can look up too. Did we ever look up Basket Baby? A few sites about true stories focused on and around religion mentioned that in 1950, a gospel singer named Mary once found herself dealing with a real-life baby Moses situation. Apparently, she was rather a prominent supporter of the concept of adoption, and someone decided to test how much. They left a baby on her doorstep in a basket. According to the site, she adopted him without question and raised him as her own son. Although it wasn't national news, in many circles, he became known as the Basket Baby, and even went on tour with her as she grew up. None of the other websites state who the woman or the baby were, likely to prevent people from looking into it, either one of the people too closely. From context, you know that Mary Beth Clementine, who would later be shunned due to her personal life with her and her son Mark, who would be known as Crocodile Clementine. Was that, like, how do we know if this is true or not? I also feel like this could be something like, they could have lied about, right? Alright, let's look back into this, I guess. This Billy Sims guy. We realized that he punched him. Or no, he did something else. I don't remember what he did exactly. He sucker punched him. Shoulder's a little sore. So let's search Billy Sims in the more local article. There was something more personal about this, or something more that we read. This might be it. this slightly longer article. He appeared in the paper before. They put it under a special banner called Croc Watch. Our good friend Croc Clementine was actually in attendance at the high school graduation because his daughter was walking the stage. She was apparently not allowed to attend. His ex-wife had a restraining order on behalf of her daughter, but did so anyway. It was unknown to the school staff, including Sims, but a security guard recognized him, and that's when the trouble started. Let's go back and look at crocodile. Is that how you spell crocodile? Alright, this talks about the first major arrest. Yes, he was flying. No, that's not what I needed. At some point, it talks about what his daughter's name was been. And that's how we got Mary Clementine. We don't know how to get Mary Clementine again, but if I could find out where I went to. And we were talking about Billy Sims, we were talking about the Clementines. Oh, Billy Sims. Billy Sims was once arrested. Okay. So yes, we realized that his daughter Mary was graduating. So she could very much be like a college student if she's graduating. I don't know if she's graduating high school or college or what. But I would assume high school. And then we looked at a little bit into Tostarito Jacobson. I don't think that led us to anything in particularly useful. Was that... Where are we at in this location? Is it Butler County? Oh, it's a Mexican restaurant. Interesting. From the makers of Tiger King comes a new Netflix doc, Catching Crocodile Clementine. That's kind of funny. Tostarito is the name of that. That kind of reminds me of the brand of pizza rolls, Totino's. Probably your favorite page in the game. I can see that. I can see that. Somebody, used to name themselves Tostarito. And then we search Piketty, it's gonna come up with that one article. Actually, it did it. You know what else? I think, is Lucinda the name of any of the people? I feel like I've seen that name, Lucinda. I want to look this up later. Because that's not exactly what I want to look at right now. It was a name... Lucinda. Did I even look at this one? I did. I almost wish you could search like everything. it's Linda. Alright, that was a name I wanted to look up. This Christine Farrow. Way back when, we learned about a secretary that met somebody at the restaurant. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think the name that is here is just there. You said the page, this is so silly. Yeah, it is. Let me see. I got one more hint from this one too. Maybe the 5 pieces. I don't know if we searched that since then. Maybe it's an article. Nope. Hasn't been searched. Okay, so now I'm like, now that I got the next 4 right, I'm like, okay, we got 4 more before I guess we get knocked on our door by Sam. I just gotta figure out what I gotta do. I'm gonna take one more quick bathroom break real quick. Give me a second. All right, now let's see if we can lock in like the next like little couple people or so, or find some more information. Drinking a lot of water today. I've been trying to. Here's my new thing. Okay, I know I be yapping every time I come back. Thank y'all for being here though, for real. I think I've been trying to drink water. I've been trying to clear my face. I feel like I got bad acne. I don't know. I'm just stressed out. In reality, I'm stressed out. I do a job and my 9 to 5 is stressful, and it's not even a 9 to 5 either. That's the fucked up part. But you know, I've been drinking a lot of water, just trying to stay away from the sugars and whatnot. I think sugar is amazing, and I love eating candy, but I can't quite figure out if it's certain things. So I'm like, let me just cut out everything. Let me cut out sugars. Let me like cut out most fried foods. Let me stop drinking pop. So I've been drinking some stuff. Like I've been drinking like sparkling water. You know, get a little juice pouches and different stuff. Just try to, you know, have a little flexibility so I can, you know, have a clear skin, a better diet, you know. So maybe like 5 minutes ago, we locked in the next few people. So we need 4 more people to be locked in so we can go, I guess, talk to Sam or Clark. I don't know who's going to come to the door. Maybe Sam, though, I had to guess. That's on self-care. No, for real. You got to, really. I think it could be nice, though. Like, you know, I got my little ice cream I eat. But, like, you know, I'm going to drink water with it. Like, I'm not going to double down. Like, yeah, like, I was like if I was telling B, like, we go get some fast food, but we go drink it with water, okay? No fast food, though, for real. I want to stay away from fast food. I was at least trying to do, like, dine out places and stuff. But, man, it's hard. I feel like they don't make cheap, healthy food, unfortunately. So if you don't have a ridiculous amount of money and you don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on each meal, then, you know, I feel like, yeah, I don't know, it's different. Said W, I appreciate that, said. But you feel me. Man, why strawberries like $5, but they expire the same day? The same day. Like, I would be. T goes T. How many strawberries we done brought? Probably like 10 packs of strawberries we done let expire. He said they taste so good, you gotta eat them the same day. Swear, next day don't even look right. I don't know what they do to make them good just for one day. I really don't know. How do they even get it to the store and sell it within 1 to 2 days that they expire? The world will never know. Anything else that we missed? We looked into Miracle Root Tree. I don't know if we looked as much into Miracle Root Tree as we could have. Only because, I don't know, we got Miracle Root Tree right, but I don't know what the next step would be. Said too many. Right. Look, that's what we started doing. I've been making banana bread with our bad bananas. Not spoiled, but you know, real ripe bananas. So a little flour, a little brown sugar or sugar, some butter, 2 eggs, boom. A little baking soda, boom. Banana bread. So my problem right now is, what lead do I follow? I guess I would go back into search and mark, which was what I was trying to do. Let me look at this. What we got going on? We got this Piketty missing pages. So as we solved that, we solved the one singular thing. I think the problem is, okay, so here's what I think this number means. I think this number means pretty much any evidence attached to this picture, whether that be a name, a picture, an occupation. However, with this one, there's not much in the summary to it. So what I assume, maybe the articles on Piketty help me identify who people are. Maybe. Or maybe Cicely Sanchez truly does belong on here somehow, some way. And Cicely Sanchez said that something she did was around Guy, right? Can we even put Cicely? We can. Cicely Sanchez. And who could she? I don't know. I'm gonna leave her there just because She didn't own the rights to publish these pictures. And she got a cease and desist. I don't know. Now you gotta be craving banana bread. Man, I've been making banana bread. Part of my job, I caregive for people with disabilities. A part of my job may require cooking. And so sometimes the guy I caregive for, he doesn't always eat his bananas. So I'm like, boom, we like banana bread. Let's make some. Fun process. He loves to do it too. Miracle Church. Okay, so we got 7 thing on here. We got the 6 pieces. There's probably something else in here that we need. Obviously, 5 more things. What about here? So from 1980 to 81, we need 2 pieces of evidence. So we have Susan Ford. So I don't know if that number was 3 before. So we have Ford off of this list. Who else is right here? I think this also could be easy, maybe, perhaps. Because, I mean, of course, it's not easy knowing that the names, right? Robert Andrews. They obviously weren't cheating with no... You never know. You never know. I was about to say they weren't cheating with no man. The one that she said... Was it Guy? It was somebody... Was it Lauren that said that? Where is that? Is it this? The family, basically was... Basically, what they were saying was the family overlooked his infidelities. They basically brushed it over. And he didn't like the full woman. I don't know what that meant, but... And then Beth will probably be up. We got Beth as the secretary. There's one more clue we need to get from reminders. I don't know what that would be. Elias Carl. Have we looked up Carl since he passed? I feel like we might have. Yeah, we did. Kristen Valdez. Okay, I don't... Valdez. Yes. Maybe Caroline's gonna hear you? Okay, thank you. Many websites... An article. Okay, hold on. Let's look up her in the periodicals. God dang it. What is that? This UI does frustrate me just a little bit. I think I'm still learning the fact that I have to click to do certain stuff. And then where could she have been at? I'm gonna look everything. Okay, I really am like, I need some piece of evidence. Somebody tell me something. Maybe she has some... Come on, what if she has some juicy news, you know, about what was going on? He went to a private school near her hometown and broke up when he moved back to Butler County. So... what that tells me is maybe it wasn't her that I need to look up. It's Carl, but in a different spot. So we got the university that we could look him up at. And we also got the Portland. There's that news time. This is current events. I don't know if he would be in here. What about Carl Roottrees here? Her hometown, though. And this is old as well. Oh, we had this already. Where's her hometown? Near her hometown, it broke up. I feel like that may be useful. Like, we might even be able to find something slightly different. I wish I was there for check boxes and for the periodicals. I wish they were. I wish it was, for sure. It's a transcript. Here it is. Okay, I'm like, what am I looking at? Okay. I'm actually kind of excited to see who makes the playoffs tonight. Never really fit in the family, so it didn't surprise me. There was a whole bunch of stuff in which we don't know who talked about what. And then we know that she was forced, or not forced. Guy, she left her daughter with her ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was still. In our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. He lost a tooth and a client. So would that mean that maybe he got caught cheating? So you could pick the ones you wanted to search. I like that. I feel like I like that. You could search up all of them. I also like, have you played a game called Cyber Manhunt? I like that one. It's like, it got like a little Google kind of thing, right? And you search it and it gives you links to click. And it has a back and a forward motion. But I like the fact that you could search one word and have like 5 links. Because, it made it a little simpler. You know what I mean? What? It's a really good game. It's another game called Orwell. It's like this whole... Okay, so consider like this kind of thing. It's like an updated, like modern computer. You are helping the people solve crimes, so you're like doing different stuff. But it's a really good game. There's 3 whole games. That's how good it is. It's 3 games. And I haven't beat the last one, but I'm getting close to beating the last one. But yeah, that's how you know a game is good, if you buy all three of them. But kind of like a Orwell. The first type of game I played like this was Hypnospace Outlaw. It's a game, I think I played it on Game Pass, but it's like the whole premise is that it's more like this one in the sense that you get the old PC, but the whole premise of Hypnospace Outlaw is that you're like helping them monitor online. So people might talk about violence, or they might have nasty stuff on there, and they don't show you that, but your goal is to go through different websites and report it, basically. But these type of games are kind of cool. It gives you like the vibe you're really searching. Another one I would recommend that I just got done playing is called The Operator. Literally best game ever. I cried. We cried on stream live. But that was a good one too. That's kind of like a combination of all of them. I like those like detective games, especially you mix like a little computer stuff in them. Real fun game for sure. But all similar in a sense. Like, it's not like the whole you got to get multiple things right. It's more like a linear, like, puzzle solving experience that may not be as easy as you think it is, because you got to look up different things. But I would say all these games are really cool to me. I was 20. Okay, hold on. Caroline Morton. All right, so she was 20 years old when she went on a trip with Guy. She left her daughter. Let's look more into Carolyn Morton now. Now we need to know the age range in which she was, and she probably would be more local, I would imagine. Now, did she show up in anything else? I feel like she's an artist, so you never know, but I don't think she did, truthfully. Hell no, she's not in here. So, she said that she was 20. There she is. And she was with a guy, right? I wish we could look at this picture. But looking at these pictures, I think that guy was a little older than her. I think we can assume that. Maybe, possibly. We don't really know, though, to be honest. They all could be around the same age. But we know that she's younger than her sister, Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn looks, I guess, maybe a little older than Bonnie. But I don't know. There's not much on Carolyn Morden, like a year or anything about a birth. I don't know if the time of the year she was old. I was hoping that the timeline would give me like maybe a certain timeline of maybe somebody living in a certain place that they went to. Looks good. I love a game that gives the computer rabbit hole feeling. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is really cool. I definitely got a lot of games to recommend if you like these type of games, because I don't know what it is. I find myself to them. And there's actually a couple more games that I have that I want to get into, like, you know, the whole like computer searching kind of thing, puzzle involved. And then she wrote books. She wrote a book. What is the book she wrote? What is this? Previously? Caroline Morden. I thought she wrote a book. Oh, yes. Self-Portrait, Art, and the Beauty of Women. Alright, this is old, but it still could be worth it. Talks about influences. She was the youngest of her generations. In her late teens, she felt betrayed. Okay. I don't know. I guess it may not have something to do. Maybe somewhere else we will figure out how old they were. I was thinking that maybe we will get something else. You said you can check all the periodicals at once? Camera transitions from room to room. I wish I knew how. Okay, no. I unfortunately don't want to do this one because it's like a all. It makes it feel like slightly easier for me, you know? That's so cool. I might, if we're having a lot of trouble, we might do that. My thought process is Carolyn Morden should lead us to maybe another guy's thing. She was 20. She just had her daughter. She left her daughter with her ex-husband to go on a trip with Guy. He lost a tooth and a client. They went to Europe. Okay. Yes, and then he was the person that the family wrote off, like his behavior, like he was some sort of huge fan of romance or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. Which I think that is like kind of, that could be a grammar thing, or it could be very purposeful how they did that. Is this DLC? Would you say this is DLC, or do I gotta buy some more DLC? I mean, I would buy DLC. I didn't put over 20 hours in the game. I probably would. But this feels like DLC. I was trying to figure out last time if this is more like a continuation, because the full thing feels like a full game almost. So this made me think that Guy may have slept with a man as well. You never know, really. But he didn't like the entire woman. Like, does that mean he didn't like his wife? at the time, or he didn't like every part of women, or you know, he didn't like, you know, this could be everything. Like this could literally be as like, oh, he don't like, he likes the woman body, but he don't like the woman mind, or I don't know. Clearly he was slanging that thing, so he didn't like something, or he wasn't satisfied with something. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That's one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. So when I read this, I think that this could be about Eric Clancy. Ah, okay. That's kind of cool. I feel like this game, it feels like it just came out recently, like the last like 5 years or so. I think it's 2023. Okay, so this statement could be about her dad. I think these two statements are about Guy. Anything before that? I think this is about her parents. They were like, oh no, they obviously didn't kick me out. And then we got a couple things at the bottom, this workaholic thing. I'm assuming that's about her dad. And then when she says speak ill of the dead, I'm like, is she talking about Elias, or is she talking about, I guess she'd be talking about a lot. This is after the fact, so she could be talking about Carl, Elias, Ernest, or Zach. And she's not talking about Guy. With Carl, though, all we could say is we used to be friends before he sent them to private school. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. And her father, is her father Zach? Yep, her father is Zach. So we're gonna find another picture of Zach in here. Huh, okay. That makes sense to why we had another picture of Zach. I noticed that we have a couple pictures we can add after the fact. I think it was new for the Steam release because the game used to be on itch.io. Really? Oh my god, the coolest games come off of itch.io. I done found some really cool games. I normally mess around with itch.io when it comes to idle games because I love doing that. Like, you know, like I could be, I don't know, I could be cooking and have my little idle game go down. That NGL idle, I think I played like over 1,000 hours in that game, just leaving my computer overnight. Yeah, I might have to check that setting too, honestly. I'm curious, will it just pop up like a long list of stuff? I might have to try it. I want to see, because like if it is a time saver, and I'm gonna click them anyway. Let's see how it looks. The person that's probably in here the most. This page looks the same. Who's on multiple things? Is it the Piketty? Ah, I see. Ah, so it'll show if it has an update. I don't know. It's kind of like it's one of those things that could maybe give you an edge. I just don't know if that would. I'm not inherently cheating by doing this. I'm just making it easy. And I guess I gotta choose all every time, maybe? Let's look up Elias. And then these are old pages because they don't say nothing about the update. So you gotta search all, but it's still not bad in consideration because, I mean, theoretically you're looking up a lot of different things. Somebody who we haven't looked up, I don't know if we looked at 5 Ps in all of these. Tain Blast. See, look, that's just thing. You know, the funny part is that I was just clicking, and then hoping that I was clicking all of them. But this might be a little helpful. I don't know. You let me know if this seems like a little cheese. but I feel like, I don't know, it's just making it a little accessible, really. Hunky Hotties. 10 out of 10. His real name is Dave. Oh, that's wild. His real name is David. His birthday is February 9th, 97. His star sign is Aquarius. 97. Guy took office in 98. And Guy, in 97, Guy was still, right? Am I right? 97 Guy was here? Yeah. Guy was slanging that thing. Crazy. We'll look up Hunky Hotties in a moment. And he grew up in foster care in Portland. A letter to the editor also claims that it's not possible he was born in 97 because a song called 17 magazine says that he turned 17 in 92. The editor responds with a statement that they've reached out to his agent to ask about the song, where it told it wasn't performed by 5Ps and that it shouldn't print rumors. All right, this is calculator time. Who else said they were born in 77? No, that was 97. That was 97. Okay, so I guess it's 1992. So he was born in 75. He was born the same year as Clark. No, as Chris. So he's the same age as Chris, I think. If Chris is born in 75, right? Yeah, Chris Rap 75. That's his username. So I'm assuming that's the year he was born. And if he was born in 75 too, they were born the same year. That's crazy to think that he could have like a cousin that was the exact same age as him. I don't know if Chris was the same age as like this guy, Zach or David, or if they were close or whatever. But that's kind of cool. He would have literally had somebody his exact age growing up with. You know, it would make me feel better if I didn't forget the spam click of what are the periodicals. Yeah, for sure. I definitely like that. They got his whole birth date though. So this is old, and this is, I would say, old as well, or maybe nothing new. Okay, I think we found out a lot of information. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna, yeah. I think I'm gonna call it here. I feel like we're getting close to unraveling something else, and I think we might be able to lock in the next 4 next time we come. Yes. Next time I will stream will probably be Thursday early on. I will try to get out early. See what's going on. But yes, I will maybe keep updated and see whatnot. I don't know, I'm kind of scattered. Like sometimes I'm on Discord, sometimes I'm on Twitter, sometimes on this. But you can pretty much expect me Thursday, expect some type of something. But I hope you guys had a good time. I've had a pretty good time. We got a few things and we figured out some main things. And I think I might go around and keep this search all. I think it's very useful for a lot of different things. And when it comes to spamming certain stuff, gosh, can't spell. No, it's not Gwen. Is it Gwen with one? Ah, look. I was about to say, I remember she had something, but she was on multiple things. I just wanted to test it one more time. And these are not new, so they won't say that they're new. Ah, okay. But yeah, either way, I'll try my best to show up early on Thursday to see what's going on. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Thistle, thank you for hopping in. Belma, I appreciate you for the tip. Ship, I appreciate you being here. Bubble Buddy, hello. And thank you for dropping in. As always, Ship said, Thistle, you guys are great. I'm gonna go lock in. I gotta work tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to get my day, get my evening started, get ready, do some self-care and whatnot. But I hope you guys had a good time, and yeah, I'll see y'all Thursday, hopefully. Oh, look at that. Look, it's like a mess. It's a mess, but see y'all later.